Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and today we are celebrate wouldn't be the right word. We are remembering what took place that more or less changed the world in our existence. And of course, I'm referring to the attack on the United States, the downing of the Twin Towers, the Pentagon being hit. Although I have to give praise to those, even though they died, they gave their lives to make sure nothing was destroyed when they took the plane down in Pennsylvania. Goodness knows there was enough people who lost their lives that day. But yeah, I was I was a 21-year-old kid. I remember that day. I was a 21-year-old kid going to work. I was tired. I hadn't paid much attention. I got up. I hadn't turned the TV on. It was just one of those hurry and get dressed so you can go to work. I hadn't even turned the radio on until I was a few minutes out. And on the broadcast, you could hear them say, they're saying something about another plane just hit the other tower. I'm like, what? So it was about the time the second plane had hit the second tower. I was making it into work. I got in, I was asking, what's all this about a plane hitting a tower? Oh yeah, there's been the twin towers have been hit. It was just something we kept track of throughout the day. And I remember it pretty vivid. We would keep the radio on in the kitchen, kind of hear what's going on while we were working. I was working at a steakhouse at the time, and I did uh, dishwashing, keeping the floors cleaned, occasional bussing. Uh, and of course, I'd do all the duties to close the shop if I worked closing shift. But yeah, I remember it pretty well. I remember when we got the word that the Pentagon was hit. And then there was a fourth plane. I remember finally getting off work that day. As I was driving home, it just felt different. You would look at the gasoline signs and they were up there around $6, $7. Immediately that day, prices gouged. I was like, wow. I mean, normally they had been $1 something. All of a sudden, it's like prices escalated. I remember the day rather vividly. But yeah, I was 21. And it's one of those moments you think, wow, wow. I was all had no problem with us going into Afghanistan. There was thoughts that that's where Osama bin Laden was hiding. But when we got around to invading Iraq, I was like, why? I remember that. And people kind of looked at me like I was crazy. I said, why are we invading Iraq? What have they had to do with this? But it's kind of radically changed this country. It changes the way our airlines operate. We've now had the longest war in U.S. history in Afghanistan. This is what, 2002 when we went into Afghanistan? So it's about a 17-year war. I remember thinking, are we going to have another plane? Because, it's throughout the day you get news. One hits the Twin Towers, the other tower's been hit. They've crumbled, they fell to the ground, the Pentagon is hit. There's a fourth plane, and it's like it was it was chaos. Even though we now know that they all happened within the span of within a 2-hour period, it's the information kept coming throughout the day. It was just so much that happened. And like I said, it's completely changed our lives. We're in the longest war in U.S. history. We've, well, now no longer have the towers. They were a landmark of, who we were as a nation. It's just, it's changed the way the airports operate. And let's not forget, for some reason, it's caused this growth of hate. I'm not saying it It's never been there. It's been there, bubbling beneath the surface. There's always outbreaks. But after 9/11, the treatment of Muslims was just, they're animals. Don't treat them with respect. Sikhs, a religious group from India, the Sikhs, they're known for wearing turbans. People thought all Middle Easterners, all Muslims wore turbans. Well, the Sikhs, they don't, but the Sikhs do. It's part of their religious belief wearing the turban. They got beat up. Since we've had the creation of Homeland Security, I think ICE, it just baffles me, people. And I kept trying to point out, Benjamin Franklin said those willing to give up a little bit of liberty for more security deserve neither. But people were just, it felt as if people were just too cowardly. Save us from the scary brown people. It it bothers me that it's became an excuse. I mean, do you not realize how much we've stuck our nose into the Middle East just for petroleum, for a little bit of oil? We need to get away from oil. We need other resources. Honestly. Because now oil's also part of the cause that we have climate change. And yes, climate change exists, whether you want to believe it or not. It is not some mythical boogeyman made up to scare you. It's just a fact. I mean, Exxon and these other Exxon, Shell, showing as far back as the 70s, they knew what the burning of petroleum did. But they weren't about to release the information because it would have interfered with their monetary bottom line. But I'm not here to talk about climate change. I just wanted to speak a little bit and tell y'all, remember 9/11, but I think we need to pull back on what we've done. We honestly don't need an ICE. We need to not show as much fear, because that's what they love. That's what they love knowing. We have you in a scared state. No. I'm not scared. I'm more annoyed than anything. Those that wanted to attack us, to instill a level of fear, yeah, I have no defense of them. But it's not all Muslims. It's not all other religions or people of color. Remember 9/11, but we need to step back and reproduce sanity. It's been far too long used as a boogeyman. But I just wanted to say a bit. So, as always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. I'll see you all in the next video, but until then, later.